Desde Indonesia a Jacobasi hay 15.309. Jacobasi es en Patagonia, es la posición más al sur de los misioneros claretianos a nivel global. Desde Indonesia a Nueva York, 15.495 kilómetros. Desde Jacobasi, que es aquí en Patagonia, a Roma, más de 12.000 kilómetros de distancia. O de Jacobasi al Congo, casi 10.000 kilómetros. Todas estas distancias pueden acortarse porque somos seres humanos privilegiados que hemos accedido, por un lado, a la alfabetización digital y además poseemos todos nosotros las condiciones materiales para poder conectarnos, para poder llevar adelante esta conexión. Pero como cristianos y sobre todo como claretianos, como misioneros claretianos que habitamos las periferias del mundo, sabemos que una gran porción de la población no tiene el mismo acceso a las prestaciones de esta tecnología, que contribuiría, usada de modo responsable y seguro, a mejorar la calidad de vida en muchos aspectos. Las tecnologías de la información y la comunicación se usan no solo para el intercambio entre personas, también ofrecen una plataforma valiosa para acompañar la consecución de los objetivos de desarrollo sostenible en materia educativa, de salud, en materia de eliminación de barreras de acceso a la información como un derecho humano, básicamente la información como un derecho humano. El Papa Francisco ha dicho que la red puede ser un lugar rico en humanidad, no una red de cables, sino de personas humanas. Y ha dicho que Internet realmente es un don de Dios. Entonces hoy te pedimos, Señor, que seamos capaces de usar estos dones que nos han sido dados para llevar tu mensaje de salvación a los confines del globo y que seamos actores responsables económica, jurídica, ecológica y socialmente en su uso y en los aportes que podamos brindar desde nuestro ser cristiano. Amén.
Thank you, Claudia, for leading us in prayer. Brothers and sisters, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Claretian Conversation on Global Digital Compact. We are deeply grateful to everyone for joining us today. The Claretian team at the United Nations is honored to host this crucial dialogue. It is a significant moment in our engagement with the United Nations consultation process for the upcoming Summit of the Future in New York this September. The United Nations Secretary General's report, Our Common Agenda, outlined 11 policy briefs with specific proposals. Based on these and extensive global consultations, the United Nations has crafted an outcome document of the summit called A Pact for the Future. And the consultations on the second revised draft on this pact are ongoing. Additionally, the UN will adopt the Global Digital Compact during the Summit of the Future in September, and its second revised draft also open for consultation. Our Claretian team is actively contributing to these consultations through various avenues. Today's conversation is one such effort, building on our earlier dialogues about transforming education, a new agenda for peace, and youth and future generations. Brothers and sisters, digital technologies have profoundly transformed our society, offering unprecedented opportunities and new challenges. When improperly or maliciously used, they can fuel divisions within and between countries and communities, increase insecurity, undermine human rights, and exacerbate inequality. The purpose of the UN Global Digital Compact is to establish an inclusive global framework essential for multi-stakeholder action to overcome digital data, and innovation divides. The compact is expected to outline principles, objectives, and actions for advancing an open, free, secure, and human-centered digital future for all, anchored in universal human rights and enabling the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals. In today's conversation, we are focusing on two key areas from the Secretary General's policy briefs: the Global Digital Compact and information integrity. And we have assembled a distinguished panel of 10 communication experts and practitioners from around the world to discuss these topics. Our esteemed panelists' wealth of experience and insight promises to enrich our dialogue significantly. This conversation serves two purposes. One is to make a substantive contribution to the UN's consultation process, and secondly, to collaborate globally through Claretian ministries to promote digital literacy, ensure inclusive access to technology, and advocate for policies that leverage digital advancement for sustainable development and human well-being. On behalf of the Claretian team at the United Nations and the broader General SOMI team, I warmly welcome our expert panel of communicators and all our observers, our brothers and sisters of the Claretian family present today. We are especially delighted to welcome Father Henry Omonisai, the prefect of Bible and Communication, who is attending the Rebicular meeting in Colombia. Despite his heavy meeting schedule today, Father Henry has kindly accepted our invitation to grace this conversation and offer opening remarks. We greatly appreciate his presence and contribution. And we are privileged to have Father Louie Guades as our moderator. He needs no introduction. You all know him, and he brings an extensive experience in digital technology and is an advocate for communication as a tool for transformation. Currently serving as the coordinator of iClaret, the Claretian Communication Team, General Claretian Communication Team, he offers invaluable insights to guide our important dialogue. Brothers and sisters, let us embark on this important conversation. Without further delay, I now invite Father Louie Guades to begin today's discussion. Louie,
Thank
over
you
to you.
thank you very much, Father Rohan. And good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everyone. And I am Father Louie Guades III, CMF, your moderator for this fourth conversation that the Claretians at the United Nations have organized, the conversation on global digital impact. But before we proceed to introduce the participants, may I first invite Father Henry Monesaya, CMF, our General Prefect of Bible and Communication, who is right now in Colombia, as Father has said. And since he has to transfer from here to the venue soon, I invite him now to speak. Father, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you so very much. I'm very pleased to be with you, and I thank you for inviting me for this very important conversation. The congregation has grown over the years and also growing in a world that is growing digitally. And the communication system has also been transformed from various forms it had been before. And it is in being sensitive to this growth that the congregation also has established this prefecture of Bible and communication. And with a very important way of couching it, as it was put in the dream of the congregation. We dream of a congregation where we make intelligent use of all the means of communication. And I want to just underscore this very important modification it has: intelligent use, wise use. It's not just any use, but an intelligent one, because we are also, as human beings, Homo sapiens, people with wisdom, people who are capable of doing something with intelligence, discernment, proper use. And so just as the prayer at the beginning, which I saw very brilliant, brings to us everything, and all the distances are already brought together as one, we're also called, living in this digital continent, to also understand the fact that we have to be there with the people there. And it is not just an instrument, a platform now, but beyond it, it's now a place where people live. And being a place, we have to also be part of it. And so digital literacy then becomes an important part of our missionary activity. So last year in the general team of communication, we decided to do a training, a formation for those we call the cyber missionaries. And it lasted from June to October, just to create this, digital literacy and a presence that is also intelligent, wise, guided by some policies and criteria. And it's on that purpose too, or on that basis, that we think this conversation needs to continue, so that we will be sure of the integrity of the information that is passed on to different people on the one hand, and the content itself, the weight and the value of the content that is passed to people. Our congregation, like you know, is involved in this whole act of communication in different ways, both social media, digital, publication, books, and so on and so forth. Putting all of this together, we want to communicate the good news. We want to communicate God's message. We also want to make people to be included in the whole entire creation, and let no one be left behind. And from that perspective, then, I wish to encourage you to see this conversation as an encounter, as the Pope will say. When encounter happens, there is a creation of a new thing, and that creation is what makes us also part of God's whole process of creation. So thank you for being here, and I encourage you to continue with joy to be participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much also, Father Henry, for your words of encouragement and your remarks. We will strive to continue to live this dream and make it come true. Regards to our brothers and sisters there in Rebecla. Okay, we shall now ask the participants of the conversation to briefly state your full name and from what major organism or province or delegation you are from, and you're representing of, and your current affiliation or work in that particular organism. So maybe we can start with Susanna.
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to one and all gathered on this platform where people live. I am coming from India. I belong to Bangalore province. I am at present in a northern state of India, that is in Jharkhand. I am posted as assistant parish priest and also taking care of the children we have in a hostel. I am at present in Jharkhand, northern India. I'm happy to be present and be part of this meeting.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just reminding you, this is only the panelists will speak. Please, others participate only as observers. Louie, please.
Okay, we shall continue now that Father, who's there in front already?
Yeah, Desta.
Yes, Sister Vedesta.
Hello, everybody. My name is Modesta Woki. I'm from the Claretian Missionary Sisters. I'm from Indonesia, and currently I'm teaching at school, diocesan school. Thank you.
Thank you. Then we have Father Miguel.
Soy el padre Miguel Castellanos Vázquez, estoy en la provincia de México como coordinador o director general de la Pastoral de la Comunicación, actualmente vicario de la Parroquia del Purísimo Corazón de María en la Ciudad de México. Un gusto participar y saludarles a todos ustedes.
Next we have Ferdinand. Ferdinand.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I am Ferdinando Correa. I am in the US-Canada province, and I am the editor-in-chief of US Catholic Magazine. Thank you.
Then we have Father Joel.
Hello to everyone. I'm Joel Nkongolo from the delegation, Claretian from the delegation of Congo. Currently, I'm in Rome for my studies and also helping the communication team. Thank you.
We have Father Melvin. We can't hear you, Father. While Father Melvin is fixing the microphone, maybe we can go back to Susana. Ahora sí.
¿Y ahora?
Ahora sí. Vale.
Buenos días, de Brasil, Susana Coutinho, da Oficina de Comunicación de la Provincia de Brasil. Soy periodista y sirvo a la provincia en la comunicación y la prefectura de apostolado.
Then we have Nirmala, Father Nirmala.
Greetings to everyone. I'm Solomon Nirmalan. I belong to Sri Lankan independent delegation of Joseph Vas, and I'm currently doing my master's in behavioral science in the Philippines.
We have Mr. Robert.
Good evening to everyone. I am Robert Laurio, or you can call me Bob, and I'm from the Father Ruel Gallardo province in the Philippines. I am the production manager at Claretian Communication Foundation Inc. or Claretian Publication Philippines. Thank you.
Ahora tenemos a Alfonso.
Buenos días, buenas tardes a todos. Yo soy Alfonso, soy el responsable de comunicación de la provincia de Fátima, que es sur de España, Portugal y Gran Bretaña, y llevo trabajando desde abril, así que tampoco llevo mucho tiempo, pero bueno, encantado de estar aquí y de conoceros.
Yes. Then we're back with Father Josh.
Hi everyone, I am Father Jose from the East Asia delegation, now working in Hong Kong. Over the last 3 years, I was with the our prefect for the Bible and communication in the delegation, and I'm in charge of the Claretian Publications and Pastoral Bible Foundation in Hong Kong. I also work with the diocesan newspaper. I edit the newspaper for the diocese.
Father, maybe we can go back to Melvin from Cameroon.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Father.
Yeah, thank you. I am Melvin Ngwakong Nineva, Claretian missionary in the independent delegation of Cameroon. I am currently in charge of audiovisual communication. And I'm happy to be here. It's an honor for me to be invited in this conversation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone for accepting the invitation to be part of this panel, to be part of this discussion. And so, since Father Rowan already gave us the background of this conversation, and we already know each other, let us now be aware of the mechanics of this session. We are going to dialogue on the global digital impact, which is in preparation for the 2024 Summit of the Future. We will have 3 rounds of conversation. For each round, I will state first the question, then each of you will answer accordingly. For the first round, you have 2 minutes to state your answer. For the second round, since it's a little bit longer, you also have 3 minutes. And for the third round, you also have 2 minutes to answer, to state your answer. And for the non-panelists, may we ask you please to keep your microphone in silence. And if you have any comment, you have anything that you would like to say, kindly put them on the chat. So don't be shy to put them on the chat, okay? So you can still participate by putting on the chat whatever you feel, whatever you think of what they have said. Okay, so this is our mechanics. I hope everybody got it. They were already oriented previously. So with so much, let us now proceed with the discussion. Okay. So the first thing that we would like to know is that how do we Claretians address the digital challenges in our pastoral and social ministry? Okay, so how do we Claretians address digital challenges in our pastoral and social ministry? What should your province prioritize to promote an inclusive, open, sustainable, fair, safe, and secure digital future? May we start with Mrs. Susana Coutinho from Brazil.
Perdão. En Brasil, seguimos junto a los organismos de la Conferencia de los Obispos en la conversación sobre los retos digitales. Promocionamos una junta en mayo para los equipos de comunicación de la provincia en que el tema de las redes digitales estuvo en pauta a partir del documento Hacia una presencia plena y la pesquisa coordinada por don Joaquim Moll, entonces obispo de referencia para la comunicación, intitulada Influenciadores Digitais Católicos. Creemos que la mística de la comunicación como don de comunión, instrumento de construcción de la paz y de la promoción de la justicia, es un horizonte y una meta en nuestro proyecto de comunicación de la provincia que estamos empezando. La formación de los misioneros, de los laicos asociados y de la gente que nos toca caminar juntos es una condición fundamental, no solamente para el uso de las tecnologías, pero también para la difusión de los criterios evangélicos y éticos que promueven la dignidad humana y la integridad de la creación. La educación para el uso de las redes digitales pasa por la conciencia de la actual organización y por el papel de las Big Techs y el uso de los algoritmos. Como apunta el maestro Moisés Esbardelotto, estos son como peajes en la autopista digital, casi, si no siempre, teniendo en vista el lucro, llevando a reacciones que generan odio, violencia, profusión de fake news, entre otros, amenazas a la relación social, a la democracia y la salud mental. Pienso también que es una dimensión para la actuación de JPIC, que empezamos a organizar en nuestra provincia, y para la red de educación, es decir, de todas las acciones misioneras y junto a otras instituciones que desean reflexionar este tema y que proponga acciones de colaboración. Esa es nuestra colaboración hoy.
Muito obrigado, Zana. Okay, now we go to, vamos con Padre Miguel Castellanos de México.
Bien, nuestra provincia, la edad promedio de los claretianos está arriba de los 60. Entonces, como retos digitales, tanto dentro de los claretianos como hacia afuera en el trabajo pastoral, considero que la brecha digital es uno de los grandes retos, porque pues todavía los misioneros claretianos no nos aventuramos, digamos así, a la pastoral de la comunicación por los medios digitales, sino que todavía se tiende mucho a los métodos tradicionales. Y seguramente también es por la situación de la desconfianza, ¿no? No se tiene la seguridad del manejo de la información, el hecho de dar una plática en un salón, bueno, pues allí en el salón se queda, pero ya decir algo en un video que va a estar en toda la red, pues hay el riesgo, ¿no? De que si lo dije bien, si no, si... Entonces, esta situación nos como que está costando trabajo para que los misioneros claretianos tomemos los medios digitales para el trabajo pastoral. Por otra parte, con las comunidades, con el pueblo de Dios, pues también vemos que hay una brecha digital que hay que subsanar, como dicen los documentos. La mayoría utiliza simplemente los medios digitales por pasatiempo, la mayor parte, ¿no? Entonces hace falta más formación desde ahí. Por lo tanto, la provincia me parece, considero que tiene que trabajar fuerte en las etapas iniciales de formación en considerar la pastoral de la comunicación, los medios digitales como una herramienta y que también en cada comunidad se cree un equipo de pastoral de la comunicación que trabaje en misión compartida. De esa manera, tanto los seglares, los laicos y los claretianos se fortalece y se puede dar pues mucho fruto en el trabajo pastoral. Gracias.
Vale, muchas gracias, Padre Miguel. Vamos con el Padre Joel en Congolo, Montreal.
Merci. Gracias. Thank you. As Claretian in Congo, addressing digital challenges in our pastoral and social ministry is very, very crucial. And I would like to focus on the accessibility, affordability, safety, digital divide, and the online hate speech. I could say this. With only 22.9% internet penetration that's access in the DRC, that is Congo, a vast majority of our population remains offline. We must advocate as Claretian, this is a challenge, for improved infrastructure and support community-based initiatives to enhance internet access. So with that, we can collaborate with some NGO and government agencies to establish a kind of infrastructure like masts that can bridge this gap. Affordability. Despite the 1 gig, that 1 gigabyte data of mobile internet costing $0.668 US, internet remains out of reach for many, given that 74.6% of Congolese live on less than $2.15 a day. So it's very difficult for them to afford internet. So we should prioritize as Claretian, negotiating with internet services, if possible, providers for affordable data plans, and seek partnership that can subsidize internet costs for our communities. Talking about safety, we noticed that the control of communication and digital domains is made by private and foreign companies, and this raises a safety concerns. We need to advocate for stronger regulatory frameworks to ensure that data privacy and security is sure. So second to the last is the digital divide. With fewer than 1 in 5 Congolese having internet access, the digital divide is significant. So our ministry should focus on inclusive digital education programs to equip people with necessary online skills, as said Father Henry at the beginning. So we are trying to do that, to establish a digital literacy centers in our parishes.
Father, it's 3 minutes, more than 3 minutes. May we proceed now to Father
Right.
Melvin. Thank you.
Ok, merci pour la parole, Luigi. En ce qui concerne le Cameroun, un peu comme venait de dire le Père Joël, nous vivons une situation où il y a d'abord cette barrière en termes d'accessibilité, mais aussi nous pensons que c'est urgent de mettre l'accent sur la formation, sur l'éducation en ce qui concerne le numérique. Parce que plus de la moitié de la population est encore ce qu'on peut dire analphabète en ce qui concerne le numérique. Et vous savez que le Cameroun est actuellement touché par une crise sociopolitique et les discours haineux se transmettent rapidement par ces outils numériques. Ce qui fait que si la délégation, les Claretiens peuvent accentuer leur mission sur l'éducation, sur ce qui concerne le numérique, je pense que ça peut apporter un plus dans ce qui fera comme solution, qui tiendra lieu de solution dans cette crise.
Okay, Father, merci.
Merci.
Now we proceed to Father Jos Cherukara.
Hi, everyone. The digital challenges faced by the Claretian missionaries in pastoral ministry and social ministry within East Asia region. We consider the landscape of East Asia delegation. The East Asia delegation of the Claretians comprises 5 technology powerhouses in East Asia: Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, and China. The independent delegation of South Korea is also part of the ASCLA East. And all these countries or regions are technologically advanced and boast robust economies and tech-savvy population. This social background has, in a way, forced us to make ourselves present more effectively or more in a greater way in the digital world. Our pastoral and social ministry in the region utilizes digital media's varied possibilities to reach the maximum number of people with the minimum number of personnel involved and within the shortest time available. But the major challenges we face in the digital mission is, first, affordability. It is crucial to ensure that digital tools, computers, smartphones, and connectivity, as also mentioned earlier, are affordable for not only missionaries, but also the people whom we serve. And it is greatly available. It's not a big challenge, but the greater challenge is language and cultural barriers. East Asia is linguistically diverse. Since our delegation serves among 4 different language groups, learning a language which is considered one of the toughest, like Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and most of the missionaries working here are foreigners. It's a big challenge for us to learn the language and be present in the digital world. Except using English, of course, this is a common language, but not effective if we are not, if you don't have the command over the language. And cybersecurity is another issue. Protecting personal data and maintaining privacy online is critical. Missionaries must be aware of phishing, data breaches, and other risks. Certain state governments, particularly where we live, yes, I am out of time. This is for places like China, we need to be extremely careful.
Thank you very much, Father. Now we proceed to Father Nirmala, Sri Lanka.
Yeah. I would like to answer the question that what should your province prioritize and promote? I would like to mention here about three important things that I think that as missionaries we need. First is like in today's digital age, information travels fast and those are not always accurate. So as pastors, I think as pastors and missionaries, we should be able to, as the custodians of truth and responsible for information, we should make it more crucial that whatever we share had to be more evident and provable. And the credibility and trust is more important, and avoiding misinformation and respecting our audience also. So I also had done a kind of an extensive paper I sent to Father Rohan. You can refer it if you want. Like the second one would be like using platforms for pastoral works can be double-edged sword. While it offers incredible outreach, it also exposes you to negatively potential cyberbullying. Now we see that whenever people come in front of the social media, we see that a lot of negative comments and cyberbullying are happening now wherever. So sometimes truth is manipulated, truth is being tarnished, and truth is not at all allowed to be told. So those cyberbullyings, as pastors, we also had to be trained how to face the cyberbullying thing, and also we have to also train our custodians, those people whom we are working with, to handle cyberbullying in a proper way. The third point would be like there's a significant amount of hate speech and vulgar language in the form of comments regarding the viewpoints of individuals. Now, for instance, anyone can come and speak. So we as missionaries are obliged to educate our beneficiaries or flock on overcoming this challenge. You can make also of comment filters and then various other methods. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Father Chirmalang. Ahora vamos con Alfonso.
Muchas gracias a todos. Me sirven mucho vuestras aportaciones. Bueno, cuando pensaba de qué forma abordan los claretianos en mi provincia estos retos digitales, creo que lo hacen desde, en ocasiones, querer generar un sentimiento de cuerpo. Somos una provincia nueva de hace poco tiempo, entonces una de nuestras prioridades es esa, ¿no? El generar red que estas plataformas digitales nos permiten para trabajar con otros, no solo de la misma provincia, sino también de otros organismos e instituciones religiosas. Y por otro lado, creo que también una gran apuesta de esta digitalización viene en algunas de nuestras obras, como por ejemplo son los colegios, en los que empleamos o intentamos utilizar estos medios para atender a la diversidad de alumnado con el que trabajamos, mediante la adaptación de materiales, la formación de profesorado, para hacer accesible la información y la formación también a aquellas personas que en otras etapas se quedaban fuera de ella, ¿no? Y creo que uno de los grandes retos que tenemos es atender a la diversidad que nuestra propia provincia tiene en las comunidades, mediante esta brecha digital que existe también en nuestras comunidades con los más mayores, ya que muchas veces se apuesta por generar contenido analógico para ellos, pero no tanto por una formación digital. Entonces, bueno, creo que ese es nuestro gran reto ahora mismo. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Alfonso. Y ahora vamos con Sister Modesta.
Okay,
from
I would like to
Indonesia.
start with the reflexes that believe in a digital world and that we are interconnected with our reality. As a congregation, we are called to be in this world in a creative way. We and the laity have realized that the digital world is a space of evangelization that allows us to transmit Claretian values and spirits, grow in identity, and help promote the missions by expanding our presence in digital media. Speaking about digital challenges in pastoral and social ministry, we believe that every place has its challenges and its platforms has advantages and disadvantages as well. In terms of accessibility, we ensure that digital resources, communications, channels, and platforms are accessible to all members and people, and regarded with concerning security, hate speech, and cyberbullying in the digital world, there are several approaches. That is with a personal approach, promote a dialogue, educate and discuss with the youth, lay people, and members about online safety practices, especially sharing about personal or confidential matter in pastoral counseling. Invest in programs that teach digital skills to all age groups and people in rural and urban. Educate the youth to be aware of online harassment or abuse behavior and develop the skills to handle them appropriately. So the congregations prioritize fostering an inclusive, open, sustainable, secure digital for the future by empowering citizens through digital skills training. In digital skills training, providing comprehensive training to equip all citizens of all ages, levels, and backgrounds to navigate and utilize digital tools effectively and with the necessary digital skills. Study the different platforms in which we can arrive at the missions that we carry out with respect, coherence, and critical sense. And to have a critical thinking, responsible digital citizenship, and collaborating with multi-stakeholders for digital transformation.
Terima kasih, Sister.
You're welcome.
Now, now we have Father Ferdinand.
Thank you very much. The context in which we in the US and Canada do our ministry in terms of the digital world is obviously two nations that are advanced digitally and have a lot of presence in the digital world. In some degree, over 97% of the population from almost middle school and onwards have, to some degree, multiple presence in the digital world. And what does that mean for us? It means also that we have seen an astronomical increase in the number of people who previously do not have a voice in the pastoral life of the church, but now does have a voice because of the presence and the freedom that they have acquired from the digital world. I'm talking in the sense of there's a lot of social media, pastoral, religious presence. And what it means for the ministry we do is to make sure that we are fair in collaboration with different virtual presence of different groups of people. Some are also people we minister to that have presence in the digital world. So the fairness of our collaboration, of our communication, of our interfacing with these different groups is the challenge and a place of opportunity and prospect for the US and Canadian Claretians in terms of how we want to engage the digital and social media.
Thank you very much, Father. Now we proceed to Sir Bob.
Good evening. We at Claretian Communications have recognized technology's crucial role in our ministry, where connectivity, safety, and convenience are essential. We ensure that we have a faster internet connection, engage in social media ministry, venture into e-commerce, and utilize various information technology systems. The COVID-19 pandemic made us realize the urgent need to embrace digitalization, which open new doors of opportunity and challenges to Claretian Communications. We have become fully aware of the power of social media and online platforms for e-commerce, as well as connecting us with readers, enhancing our brand, and making our presence more visible online. Data Reportal reports that in 2024, there were 86.75 million social media users in the Philippines, or around 73.4% of the total population in the country. To keep people's engagement, we have recognized the need to constantly create catchy and meaningful content, advocating the promotion of good virtues, care for the environment, and respect for human rights and dignity, among others. It is also essential to note that the social media and online platform constantly evolve as new trends emerge. To enhance the overall efficiency and performance of the publications, we have invested in utilizing various information technology systems. However, investing in them has proven to be costly, and some are not available in the country, and we need to acquire them abroad. The province must prioritize connectivity among its members, collaborators, and institutions. There is a need to appoint committed and open-minded individuals, both missionaries and lay collaborators, who can be trained with the proper resources and tools to integrate technology into ministry. Moreover, the province must initiate a province-wide encounter among its institutions to educate, connect, and challenge everyone to embrace the digital world.
Thank you very much, Sir Robert, for that sharing. So I think everybody was able to share now, and as we have seen, it's totally different from Asia, Africa, and America, and then in Europe. So all these things, this is the reality of our congregation right now, and how we deal with technology and all these things that we have in this world right now. Now we proceed to the second round, which is that of the Global Digital Compact. The Global Digital Compact draft presents 5 key objectives with corresponding commitments and actions for global digital cooperation. Now, considering your region's digital landscape, so we talk about Asia, Africa, Europe, and then America, which 2 objectives of the Global Digital Compact do you believe are most critical and why? Then, are the proposed commitments and actions for these objectives sufficiently concrete and actionable in your regional context? And C, what gaps or additional considerations specific to your region should be addressed in these objectives or in the overall compact. For this round, we will have 3 minutes each for you to state your answers. We will start with Father Ferdinand Okori, CMF from the USA, Canada.
Thank you very much. For the A part of the question 2, I have 2 important objectives for the UN Digital Compact draft that I thought is very pertinent to our own context. And one of them is expanding inclusion in and benefit from the digital economy for all. The second one is advancing equitable and interoperable data governance. Let me focus on one of them for a few seconds here. Expanding inclusion in and benefit from the digital economy for all. Obviously, our context is a context where there are a lot of people, like I said earlier in the first part of this conversation, there are a lot of people, almost more than 70%, 90% of the population have digital presence. So that expansion of digital presence calls for more intentional engagement with the way for the Americans and Canadians are engaging the digital sphere. I'm going to go quickly on the second question, which is the second question. Pastorally, we're a pastoral magazine. We try to publish materials that we think improve the faith and the spiritual life of Roman Catholics and people from other denominations who are subscribed to our magazine. So the pastoral magazine in the United States and Canada, our sole goal is to continue to provide a clear gospel message for the people of faith, and also use our magazine as an evangelizing tool to make the gospel of Jesus Christ in the Claretian identity available to our subscribers and those who traffic a lot to our media platforms. And finally, as the time goes down here, finally, one of the gaps and challenges to consider in the United States and Canadian context is misinformation and digital communication and the subjectivity of pastoral ministry. I'll focus for the few seconds I have here on the subjectivity of pastoral ministry. Like I said during the first round of this conversation, there are a lot of people who have digital presence and who are doing so from a theological, religious, and pastoral point of view. And you can be overwhelmed with so much information, and you begin to struggle on the authenticity of your faith and the gospel message, which each of those digital presence purport to present to the audience. For us, that is a challenge. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Father. Now we proceed to Father Joel.
Thank you. On our own side from Congo, and also a kind of expanding it to Africa. Two objectives are very important. The first two objectives are very crucial for us. First of all, closing all digital divides and accelerating progress across the Sustainable Development Goals. And the second one is expanding inclusion in and benefit for digital economy for all. Both of them are very important. As I said earlier, this need of allowing people to access to internet is very important. It will reduce the gap, and also it will help the United Nations and countries to attain or to progress or to remove any hindrance, anything that hinders progress across this SDG. Regarding the commitment and action, the proposed commitment and action for these objectives are sufficiently concrete and actionable in our regional contexts. But for me, it looks a little bit unrealistic in terms of timing. The objective is before 2030, and it's going to be challenging due to the socio-political situation of the country to attain these actions. So it's very important to consider also this dimension. As an additional consideration, I think we need also, I've noticed that there is not more focus on one of the most important, very important elements in this digital world is the digital well-being for children. You know, as we increase internet access and digital inclusion, it is essential to address the mental health impacts on young people. So the digital world presents risks, as we said, such as cyberbullying, exposure to inappropriate content, addiction to screen, which can significantly affect the mental health and well-being of children and adolescents. Thank you.
Here. Stop the timer. Okay, we now proceed to Father Melvin.
Ouais, merci encore pour la parole pour ce deuxième tour. À mon avis, je pense que les objectifs 3 et 5 sont très importants en ce qui concerne la réalité de notre société en Afrique et particulièrement au Cameroun. Objectif 3, favoriser un espace numérique inclusif, ouvert, sûr et sécurisé qui respecte, protège et promeut les droits de l'homme. Pour ces objectifs, je pense que le plus important pour nous dans notre situation, c'est que le numérique qui est en plein essor, nous devons prendre avec beaucoup de réserve parce que c'est dangereux, le risque se pose d'embrasser ce numérique sans toutefois comprendre les implications. Et c'est pour ça que nous avons beaucoup de dangers qui nous guettent. Nous qui ne sommes pas tellement exposés au numérique, mais si nous embrassons cela sans assez d'éducation au préalable, je pense que ça va causer plus de tort que de... Maintenant, pour venir à certaines recommandations, considérations supplémentaires, je dirais que nous avons encore beaucoup d'autres problèmes basiques, tels que le problème de santé, problème de manque d'électricité, problème d'éducation, les écoles et tout et tout. Je pense que notre société n'est pas tellement prête, excusez-moi de le dire, pour les technologies que nous discutons dans ces forums. Par exemple, les intelligences artificielles, plus de la moitié déjà n'est pas connectée. L'Internet est un trésor rare, un denrée rare pour beaucoup. Donc, je pense que l'ONU doit faire les efforts pour faire en sorte que d'abord, les sociétés africaines et camerounaises en particulier soient d'abord connectées. Parce qu'on ne peut pas parler de la bonne gouvernance de l'intelligence artificielle alors que déjà nous souffrons pour ne serait-ce que nous connecter. Donc, je vois que nous avons un travail dans la société africaine et surtout ici au Cameroun à la base, d'abord d'éliminer ces barrières de connectivité et de faire en sorte que tous puissent accéder à cette connexion. Et puis, de là, on poursuit avec l'éducation pour la bonne gouvernance, bonne utilisation de ces moyens de communication.
Merci, mon père.
Merci.
Ahora vamos con Alfonso.
Muy buenas. Yo, desde mi punto de vista, los objetivos más importantes o que más urgen en la realidad sociocultural que encontramos en nuestra provincia son la de reducir la brecha digital y la de promover un entorno digital seguro. La de reducir la brecha digital, ya que en una sociedad con mucha accesibilidad al mundo digital y en la que esto se ha incrementado, se ha priorizado especialmente a raíz de la pandemia, hay una gran parte de la población, que son las personas mayores especialmente, que cada vez están más fuera del sistema en el que nos vamos moviendo, ¿no? Creo que esto es importante no solo atajarlo desde el darle opciones y oportunidades para solventar estos problemas desde una forma analógica, sino también atajar el problema de raíz desde la formación a estas personas. Y el promover un entorno digital seguro, no solo inclusivo, sino también desde algo que hablaba mucho el documento del Dicasterio de la Comunicación acerca del sesgo de la información y el acceso a fuentes seguras y objetivas. Creo que es una prioridad también, al igual que el atajar las diferentes violencias y nuevas formas de acoso que estas nuevas tecnologías han suscitado. Creo que son objetivos que están bien definidos, pero quizás algo difíciles de conseguir también para una fecha tan temprana como es el 2030. Confío en que se vayan consiguiendo, pero no sé si para esa fecha sería posible. Y por último, la última pregunta. Creo que el acabar con esta brecha digital no termina de ser posible a corto plazo, ya que muchas veces la política genera leyes y genera soluciones a aquellas situaciones que generan problemas, y muchas veces estas personas o estas situaciones no se ven a simple vista como problemas notables, entonces quedan quizás un poco en el olvido y en un segundo plano. Bueno, creo que esta es mi aportación.
Vale, muchas gracias, Alfonso. Ahora vamos con la hermana. Now we go to Sister Desta. Remai.
Okay. In my point of view, the two objectives of the Global Digital Compact that I believe are most critical are objective number 3 and objective number 4. Talking about fostering an inclusive, open, safe, and secure digital environment, it refers to digital trust and safety. There are so many challenges that we are facing in the digital world, namely online fraud, hate speech, discriminations, cyberbullying, abuse, and human trafficking. We acknowledge our collective responsibility to establish and maintain robust risk mitigations to redress measures that also protect privacy and freedom of expressions. And for the actions, yes, it is sufficiently concrete and actionable. And for the additional, it's about the closed digital divides. We live in a digital age where we want everything to be done digitally. We live, however, on the other hand, we cannot deny that internet access is still not equally distributed and covers everyone in various places, most especially countries that have a very large area. There is still no equal access to digital world. And the other one is the governed artificial intelligence. Well, enhance international governments for AI and emerging technologies for the benefit of humanity. One of the positive impacts of artificial intelligence is the increase of efficiency. With the adoption of AI, routine and repetitive tasks that were previously time-consuming and labor-intensive can be automated, as resulting in increased operating. And however, the adoptions of AI can replace human workers in some jobs that cannot be performed automatically by AI. These may lead to attritions and increase of the unemployment rate. That's for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister, for that. And now we proceed to Sir Robert.
Thank you, Father Louie. As for me, the most critical two objectives of the Global Digital Compact are number one, closing all digital divides and accelerating progress across the Sustainable Development Goals, and two, foster an inclusive, open, safe, and secure digital space that respects, protects, and promotes human rights. Closing all digital divides will offer equal opportunities and reduce economic and social inequalities for people, particularly in education, employment, and communications. When prioritized, these areas foster connectivity, digital literacy, and promote equality and cooperation. This is very relevant to the Philippines, where there is a considerable disparity regarding access and use of digital tools. According to recent data from the Philippine Statistics Authority, about 44% of households in the country are connected to the internet. I also believe in the importance of freedom and of expression, information, and communication, as it facilitates dialogue and mutual respect. They should not be used to silence and discriminate against people at the peripheries, or be used to proliferate disinformation or fake news and to scam and exploit individuals. The Philippines has not enacted a law against hate speech, incitement to violence, and discrimination, although it has laws on libel and defamation. It cannot be denied that hate speech and discrimination abound in social media, targeting women and minority groups like the PWDs, indigenous people, and members of the LGBTQ+ community. The proposed commitment and actions for these two objectives are concrete and actionable, especially in the context of the Philippines, given our government's recent effort and initiative with its various agencies to collaborate closely with the private sector in accelerating the implementation of its connectivity project and internet infrastructure. Although the country's internet connectivity has improved in recent years, according to the World Bank, its internet infrastructure still lags behind that of its neighboring countries in the ASEAN in terms of affordability, speed, and access, creating an uneven landscape for digital participation. Not to mention the slow connection or poor signal in geographically isolated areas of the country, and the need to provide free public Wi-Fi to all citizens in all public places. Therefore, it is essential that when policies and programs are implemented to bridge the digital gap or divide and to protect and promote justice and human rights, the marginalized and deprived sectors of the community must be prioritized. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Bob. Now we go to Susana.
Ahora
Agora.
apuntamos no objetivo 2, ampliar la inclusión digital, y el objetivo 3, promover un espacio digital seguro, pero también lo 4, avanzar a la gobernanza de los datos. Creemos que los objetivos están conectados. Es necesario la inclusión digital, pero que se haga con seguridad para la manutención de un espacio de realización personal, colectiva y social, ampliando las voces, intercambio de datos y conocimientos, ampliando la participación en la economía, en la democracia, en la cultura, en ambiente seguro, social y personal. Los compromisos y acciones son aplicables, pero que es necesario que se dialogue con la sociedad y haga presión junto a la clase política, pues las Big Techs no desean cambiar el actual sistema. Es necesario el fortalecimiento de espacios públicos de conversación y elaboración de políticas para la educación en vista del uso y producción de la comunicación digital. No basta la inclusión académica y económica, aunque sean importantes. Es necesario la inclusión que se fundamente en una cultura y una ética humanística integral, como leemos en el Pacto Global por la Educación de Papa Francisco. La inclusión digital necesita la democratización de recursos tecnológicos y económicos, implica en aportes no solo monetarios, pero también científicos. Es decir, necesita el desarrollo de políticas que incentiven estudios, pesquisas y aplicaciones de modelos sostenibles, social, económico y ambiental. Y la seguridad de datos en el ambiente digital necesita la regulación de las empresas Big Techs. Otra información importante son las investigaciones del maestro estadounidense Adam Alter sobre las implicaciones para la salud mental, principalmente de los niños y niñas, del uso de estrategias de manipulación de las redes sociales. No es posible que nos pase ao largo el debate de la regulación de las empresas, de la manipulación de los algoritmos y de la economía de la atención.
Muito obrigado. Ahora vamos al Padre Miguel.
Bien, pues considero que los dos objetivos del Pacto Mundial sería el 4 y el 5, avanzar en la gobernanza de los datos y gobernar la inteligencia artificial. Comentaba en la participación anterior que pues hay esa inseguridad en el uso de la tecnología digital, porque pues no sabe en dónde van a parar estos datos, ¿no? O qué uso se le van a dar los datos, la información que se da de las personas o en fin, en general, ¿no? Entonces me parece que sí es importante seguir avanzando en esto de la gobernanza de los datos y que no haya esa manipulación, ¿verdad? Que muchas veces se da en la información, noticias falsas, en fin, que genera pues mucha inseguridad. Y lo mismo con la inteligencia artificial. Dice el Evangelio que los hijos de las tinieblas son más astutos que los hijos de la luz. De tal manera que la inteligencia artificial, pues ahora también pues le están utilizando no para un beneficio de la humanidad, sino todo lo contrario. Me parece que sí es importante que se mejore esa gobernanza. Y esto va a funcionar, ¿verdad? Pasando al segundo punto, me parece que sí, los objetivos son concretos y aplicables. Ahora aquí lo importante va a ser que los gobiernos de las naciones que forman parte de la ONU, pues realmente los lleve a cabo, ¿verdad? Evitando la corrupción y la manipulación de la información. A lo menos aquí en México, en varias ocasiones, en muchas situaciones, se le dice a la autoridad, al gobierno federal, pues de ciertas situaciones, por ejemplo, con lo de la pandemia, el manejo de la información y todo, y el gobierno siempre se excusa, ¿no? Bueno, yo tengo otros datos, yo tengo otra información, no es transparente. Entonces, sí es importante, me parece que esos dos objetivos. Por lo tanto, pues hay que seguir trabajando en ello. Y ojalá que las naciones que forman parte de este pacto, pues lo cumplan, ¿no? Y bueno, pues considerar, ¿verdad? que siendo un pacto mundial, también se le dé la importancia a la identidad cultural de cada pueblo, tanto en México como América Latina, África, pues sin duda en todo el mundo. Importante la pluriculturalidad, ¿no? Entonces, que no por ser un pacto general mundial, que se pierda la identidad de la cultura. Y por último, así como se tocan los temas de derechos humanos, sustentabilidad, cambio climático, considero que es una laguna el que no se tome en cuenta el tema de la delincuencia organizada, sobre todo el narcotráfico, que hace un mal uso de las tecnologías de la comunicación y que no es solamente en México, sino que pues esto está en todo el mundo, ¿no? La red, sabemos lo de las drogas, todo Estados Unidos, México, China, en fin, creo que es un tema, una laguna en lo del narcotráfico, ¿no? O la delincuencia organizada, tráfico de personas, en fin, me parece que por ahí las naciones o este pacto general dejó pendiente, ¿no? Gracias.
Muchas gracias, Padre Miguel. Now we go to Father Josh.
Well, two objectives of the Global Digital Compact that are most critical for us, for the regions in East Asia. The Global Digital Compact aims to ensure responsible use of digital technology. That's our purpose, as stated in the policy address. And in the context of East Asia, two objectives were already stated here by many. First, closing the digital divides and accelerating progress across sustainable development goals. East Asia is a region of stark contrasts. Although the countries where we work are known for their global leadership in digital innovation, there are segments of society within each area that face significant disparities in access, connectivity, and digital literacy. Especially vulnerable people, migrants, refugees, they face a big struggle here in this region. And even among the missionaries, not all missionaries share the aptitude for or the conviction in using digital media in the mission. So this is a challenge we have. Well, so we need to work on this. And bridging these divides are essential for achieving sustainable development goals across the region. The following actions could tackle the digital divide. Infrastructure development. Our delegation may prioritize building a healthy digital infrastructure in all communities, especially among underserved people, like refugees or migrants or among the poor segments of the society. Digital literacy programs empower communities and missionaries. This is important. Missionaries with the skills needed to navigate a digital landscape effectively. The communication prefecture could initiate necessary programs in the delegation. And then second one is fostering an inclusive, open, safe, and secure digital space. It matters because East Asia's diverse cultures, languages, and historical contexts require an inclusive approach. Ensuring safety and security online is crucial for trust building and collaboration. Open for all segments of people, safe, especially for the most vulnerable people. How do we do this? Multilingual content creation is important. Develop content in local languages and engage diverse communities. And then combating hate speech. Regional cooperation can combat hate speech because our region has a history of hatred between the nations. So this is important.
Thank you, Father. And now we go to Father Hirmalam Solomon.
Yeah. The two objectives that I see is more important to our country is like our region is like first one is close to all digital divides and accelerate progress across sustainable development goals. So they talk about connectivity and map and connect to all the schools and internet and some affordable digital connectivity for all the women and girls, like digital literacy skills and development, which are actually like more needed to our place, like our country. And the second one would be like foster an inclusive, open, safe and secure digital space that respects, protects and promotes human rights, which is actually more important to our country because we see that we had a long time war, and then after the war, like the human rights is like actually a question, and this objective, it's very nicely narrated, and then they have also good objective plans and actions like how to internet governance and then promote an open global internet and take concrete steps to maintain a safe, secure, and enabling online environmental and because I see like this is very crucial to us because whenever that when we talk about human rights on online platforms and all, either we'll be like disappeared or like that will be like cyberbullied or like distorted history and things like that. So these two are more important in terms of our country. And the second question, when I try to answer like whether it's actionable. But I see that the time frame for this is like too short because our country is at the moment facing economic turmoil and political turmoil as well. So in order to deal with that, without dealing that, we cannot proceed to any other information technological things that we are actually planning and seeing. So I'm like little bit skeptical about how this could be like and reachable objective in time, like in a short span of time, like 2030. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Father. And so we finished everything. I finished everyone, no? So most of you pointed out the fixing or closing of the digital divide, the safe to have a safe digital space, wellness of the users, and also we also talked about economic aspect. And some also pointed out that to 2030 is maybe a bit too early to achieve these things, and it's too short, just as Father Nirmala had said. Then from what you have all said, I can see that the proposed commitments and actions for these objectives are sufficiently concrete and actionable in your regional context. I hope our brothers in the UN took note of the additional considerations that they also stated during their speech, during their time to tell their answers. Okay. So now we proceed to the third round, which is still about this policy. So the policy brief on information integrity addresses the challenges of misinformation, disinformation, and hate speech in the digital age. It outlines the harm caused by these issues and proposes principles for a UN code of conduct to strengthen information integrity while protecting freedom of expression. Now, there's this document towards full presence. It's a pastoral reflection on engagement with social media, which was released last year, discusses the difficulty of verifying sources and the accuracy of information due to the sophisticated personalization of content by algorithms that the systems we have right now. This leads to filter bubbles, where individuals are exposed to partial information that reinforces their existing beliefs. Now, based on these documents, among the proposed UN Code of Conduct principles, which three are the most crucial to focus on for ensuring information integrity on digital platforms? And for this, you will have 2 minutes each to answer, and we will start with Sir Robert Laurio.
Okay. The three UN conduct principles that I believe are crucial to focus on are the following. Number one, commitment to information integrity. All governments, institutions, and individuals involved in ensuring information integrity must express their commitment to fight against mis and disinformation and hate speech because this can polarize public perceptions and opinions and can cause false interpretations and misunderstanding of the context in online communication. In the Philippines, for example, according to the Commission on Human Rights, online hate speech on social media platforms could lead to cruelty and violence. We at Claretian Communications understand that with our visible presence in social media and online platforms, we can be criticized by those individuals and groups who do not share the values and belief we uphold as a Catholic institution. And so we committed to encourage those who engage us online to observe respect and tolerance, exercise prudence in language, and be civilized in all forms of online interaction. Number two, the user empowerment. Allowing people to have free access to credible sources of information can lead to critical thinking, which allows people to analyze the credibility and truthfulness of online information, transparency and accountability, which enable people to make immediate rational decisions and logical conclusions mindful of their effect on others, and security, which educates people about their rights and the rights of others, respecting each other's boundaries and creating safe spaces for every individual to thrive. And lastly, respect for human rights. People must be respected and allowed online to self-expression, to engage in any digital platform conversation and dialogue about the various global issues affecting us today, like in politics, environment, poverty, racism, economics, etc., and to encourage them to exercise their rights and to make a choice on how they will live their life with dignity and integrity.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Robert. Ahora vamos con Alfonso.
Bueno, para mí los tres compromisos principales son el compromiso con el respeto de los derechos humanos, el compromiso con la integridad de la información y el compromiso con la capacitación de las personas y de los usuarios. Hago hincapié especialmente en este último porque creo que es en la población y en la capacidad que los grandes organismos pueden tener de empoderar a la gente para será la clave para poder conseguir y para poder cuidar este respeto de los derechos humanos y la integridad de la información, ¿no? A través de esta formación será como garanticemos que la gente sepa encontrar una información correcta, sepa cuándo se están vulnerando sus derechos o cuándo ellos pueden estar vulnerando los de otros, y serán, en definitiva, pues desde el conocimiento de la gente, la clave o la herramienta que garantice también la presión en las clases políticas para poder regular, para poder garantizar un espacio digital seguro y accesible para todos. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Ahora, now let's go to Father Nirmala.
Will you excuse me because I think I have misunderstood the question, and then I didn't prepare for this. Like, you may have to excuse me.
Okay, sure. So we go to Father Josh. We cannot hear you, Father. Okay, Chinese turn off your.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Father.
The three principles that we, in the context of East Asia, are inclusivity, defending freedom of expression, and promotion of media literacy and critical thinking. And inclusivity because inclusivity means actively reaching out to meet people where they are, including in digital spaces, ensuring that digital spaces are accessible and safe for all users. Vatican document towards full presence acknowledges that social media is a significant part of people's identity and way of life, especially for young individuals. And we, in the platforms, continue to live as loving neighbors. In East Asia, our unique landscape, culture, historical, political affiliations, and ideological differences have led us to numerous divisions, animosity, and hatred among people. By promoting values of love, acceptance, That is the meaning of inclusivity. And defending freedom of expression, this is a major concern in many countries in East Asia, where defending freedom of expression is something that UN has to pay greater attention on. And then the promotion of media literacy and critical thinking, I have mentioned that earlier also. I have one suggestion for combating hate speech which is not mentioned here, but something that Catholic Church could join hands with UN to consider initiating a combined digital database in the likes of Wikipedia, so that Wikipedia is an open platform where people can contribute, and the objectivity depends on the people who provide information. Something that perhaps Catholic Church could do with UN is to have a common database where we stand for truth, accuracy, and objectivity.
Thank you very much, Father. Yeah, Father Ferdinand.
Thank you very much. There's no more unsurmountable challenges in communication journalism, either in print or digitally, than in the area of either code of conduct, you call it, like the UN does, or in ethical principle. I have three of them listed here, but I want to focus on one, and that one is on respect for human life. In the post-pandemic world, probably in the last 2 years, respect for human life and human right as it concerns digital engagements has been more challenged with the astronomical availability and accessibility of AI. It has become such a huge challenge trying to access information that enhances human life, because it's coming from the use of human intellect. At the beginning of our garden this morning, afternoon, evening, whatever part of the world you are, Father Henry talked about our natural ability to think, to reason, to express wisdom, and to use that to enhance the flourishment and the dignity of the human person. AI and its accessibility and its use across all board, especially in digital media engagement, has challenged all of us in the way we promote the human person, his or her dignity, his or her right, and his or her flourishment. So for us in US Catholic, I must say that we have found that challenge in US and Canada even more unsurmountable, but we'll continue to push along. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Ahora vamos con Padre Miguel.
Bien, pues de los principios propuestos en el Código de Conducta de la ONU, me parece, considero que el primero tendría que ser el de la capacitación de los usuarios, porque es justamente la persona, el usuario, el que genera información o consume la información. Entonces, sí se necesita que haya una buena formación ética en la persona. El documento hacia una presencia plena, por ahí habla precisamente de este discernimiento, ¿no? Y desde la espiritualidad, desde nuestra fe cristiana, pues tener ese cuidado, ¿no? Ese discernimiento, tanto de lo que se busca en las redes, y que los encuentros de las comunidades pues también sean encuentros personales, ¿verdad? Entonces creo yo que por ahí sería el primero, ¿no? Así como que el más importante, ¿no? La persona, el usuario. Y bueno, junto con ello, pues es la integridad de la información. Si generas la información, pues que sea una información que sea la verdad, que cumpla con estas condiciones, ¿no? Que el mismo documento habla acerca de una información verídica, que no genere expectaciones falsas, en fin. Entonces, y pues eso va aunado con el otro principio, la transparencia, que lo que se hace se haga con una buena intención, digamos, ¿no? A veces se esconden o se manipula la información porque se buscan otros intereses y no se busca la verdad. Entonces, me parece que estos tres principios pues serían los más cruciales. Gracias.
Muchas gracias, padre. Agora vamos con Susana.
Apuntamos lo respecto de los derechos humanos, la libertad de expresión, la capacitación de los usuarios y la alfabetización digital y mayor desincentivación de los contenidos nocivos. La educación es una herramienta importante ya que desarrolla a las personas y las comunidades. La educación permite formar una opinión crítica más consciente, capaz de modificar las estructuras actuales y proponer criterios éticos para los modelos de gestión de los medios digitales, así como garantizar los derechos humanos y la legítima libertad de expresión. También es importante una legislación que reflita el modelo de sociedad que deseamos construir, que apunte límites y posibilidades tanto a los ciudadanos como a las empresas y los gobiernos.
Obrigado. Ahora vamos con, now let's go to Sister Esther.
Okay. I consider the three principles most crucial to focus on to ensure information integrity on digital platforms are enhanced trust and safety, strengthened research and data access, respect for human rights and expressions. The advantage of global communication are increased connectivity. We can see that global communications platforms allow us to stay connected with people around the world, fostering relationships and facilitating the exchange of ideas. Access to informations where the internet provides us with a wealth of informations, enabling us to learn about different cultures, stay up to date on current events, and expand our knowledge. And collaborative opportunities, global communication empowers us to work together on projects, share skills, and solve problems across geographical boundaries. However, it is also critical to see that these three code of conduct principles are more toward cybersecurity risk and privacy concern. We can see the increased exposure. Global connectivity raises the risks of data breaches, online fraud, and other cybersecurity threats. And in privacy considerations, sharing personal information globally can compromise individual privacy and lead to misuse of data. Hence, uh, we need mitigation strategies, implementing strong security measures, using encryptions, protecting sensitive data from unauthorized access, and being cautious with online activities can help protect against these risks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister. Terima kasih. And now we have Father Melvin.
Oui, merci encore, Père modérateur. Pour moi, les trois principes que je voudrais souligner, c'est d'abord l'éducation des utilisateurs, le respect de la vie humaine et l'intégrité de l'information. Alors, pour commencer avec l'éducation, nous avions un enseignant qui disait qu'un ignorant est plus dangereux qu'un fou. Je pense qu'il est crucial, il est important de mettre l'accent sur l'éducation des utilisateurs pour que chacun puisse savoir exactement ce qu'il fait des, des moyens de communication que nous propose le monde numérique. Autre chose, c'est de savoir que chaque vie humaine est sacrée et que les utilisateurs doivent savoir que nous n'allons pas dans le monde numérique pour désacraliser cette vie humaine-là. Je prends un exemple simple. Vous voyez des vidéos qui deviennent virales d'une personne qu'on est en train de tabasser nue, mais personne ne prend soin de protéger cette vie humaine qui se fait humilier. On est là, on prend son téléphone, on s'intéresse plutôt à filmer et mettre sur la toile. Donc, nous devons mettre l'accent sur la sacralité de la vie humaine. Et ce qui divise davantage, pour finir, les sociétés, particulièrement une société comme la nôtre ici au Cameroun, où nous sommes confrontés à des crises sociopolitiques à gauche et à droite. Ce qui divise davantage la société, c'est des informations à moitié. Si nous mettons l'accent sur l'intégrité de l'information, je pense que ça va faire avancer les sociétés vers la réconciliation et la paix. Merci.
Merci, mon frère. Et alors, Frère Joël.
Thank you. Three principles stands out for us: respect from human rights, support for independent media, and increase transparency. For the first, respect for human rights, I think most of us have said it, but I want to insist here on the fact of freedom of speech, of expression, that should be balanced with the responsibility of your expression. Not only freedom of expression, but also a responsibility of what you said. It's very important for us to respect human rights. When you're allowed to talk on the social media, be responsible, meaning that don't misinform people, don't bring hate speech. Two, support of independent media. I think today, the old stream media are facing also the avenue of the independent media through social media. Then there's a need to support them, because through them, they play a very important role. Sometimes independent media give objective, accurate, unbiased information, sometimes. So there's need to support independent media. Lastly, increase transparency. So it is very important to insist on this principle of increased transparency. When platforms are transparent, it allows users to understand why they see certain contents. Why do we see that? You know, the algorithm. So the transparency must be very, very increased. And this helps also the users to trust the media. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Father. Let me close the timer. So, close timer, close time, close time. Okay. Thank you very much to all of you for sharing to us the different commitments that are applicable to you. And I have seen that it is about inclusivity, accountability, support of independent media. There's also two about education the capacitación of los usuarios, to train people on how to use this and that, transparency, and then integrity of the information, integridad de la información, and the one that has a lot of points is the respect for human rights and the freedom of expression. Now, I would like to ask each one of you to say something. What is your most significant insight from this discussion that we have had? From what you have read, you were given so many articles by Father Rohan to read. I hope you were able to read all of them. And what insight you got also from this session that we have had today? We can start with Father Ferdinand.
Okay. Thank you, dear Father Rohan and his team of organizers, and the moderator also for the job you have done. For me, in a sentence, our engagement with digital media should be based on intentionality, creativity, and openness.
Thank you, Father. Sir Robert?
I think our greatest challenge today is our willingness to embrace, adapt, and use digital technology properly and responsibly. Yeah.
Thank you, Sir Bob. Now we have Sister Testa.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. And from this, I would like to say that all of us need to realize that we live on 6 continents, 5 continents geographically, and 1 continent is digital continent. We need to always be aware and knowledgeable and get involved in the digital world with full awareness, creativity, and responsibly.
Thank you, Sister. And we have Alfonso.
Bueno, muchas gracias a todos por este espacio de compartir. Y la frase con la que me quedo, que me nace, es que la desolación no se apodere de nosotros al ver todos los retos que tenemos por delante, porque el espíritu sigue soplando y esta reunión es una muestra de ello.
Gracias. We have Father Nirmalam.
So for me, we recognize the significance of the digital compact, and we should make sure that every step must be taken to ensure that information technology we use is not a threat, but rather it's a source of life. And we want to also avoid becoming slaves. No, let us make digital compact a servant instead.
Thank you, Father. And we have Father Josh.
Okay. Ensure that all participating actors make commitments that can contribute meaningfully to the response, and we are held to account for the delivery of those commitments.
Thank you, Father Josh. Now we have Father Melvin.
Oui, merci pour cette opportunité. Ce que je pourrais dire après toute la lecture des documents qui nous ont été donnés, c'est que le monde numérique qui se prépare, c'est une question de responsabilité.
Merci. Father Joel.
Yes. For me, it is the following. If the future of human life is digital, then the future of the digital world is to be human. I repeat myself. If the future of human life is digital, the future of digital world is to be human. Thank you.
Merci, Luca. Ahora el Padre Miguel.
Sí, bastante información, ciertamente, muy enriquecedora. Y bueno, pues no olvidar que el Internet y las tecnologías digitales pues son solamente medios por los cuales comunicamos, transmitimos contenidos, información, y que es nuestra responsabilidad ser fieles a la verdad y ser fieles a la humanidad, ¿no? Ahorita lo que decía el padre Joel, tenemos que ser fieles a la verdad y fieles a la humanidad para que evangelicemos este continente digital. Y muchas gracias por la invitación.
Muchas gracias también. Y Susana.
Deseo agradecer a la... Sí, ok. Primero agradezco la oportunidad de compartir y aprender con todos ustedes. Veo que nuestra opción eclesiológica, misionera, humana, es también la que debe orientar nuestra presencia en el mundo digital. Es una continuación de nuestra misión.
Muito obrigado. So let us all be vigilant that these commitments that will be there would be realized and truly implemented in the different countries and the different regions. Let us also do our best to make sure that these commitments are realized among ourselves. As cyber missionaries, let us do our best to start these commitments now. Let's not wait for the UN to implement it. We can start it from our congregation. We can start it in the countries where we are right now. Not in the future, but now. Thank you very much, everyone, for accepting and joining this discussion. Thank you very much to Father Ferdy, to Sir Robert, to Sister Modesta, to Alfonso, to Father Nilmalam, Father Jos, Father Melvin, Father Joel, Padre Miguel, y a Susana for joining this session with the United Nations. We also with the Claretians in the United Nations. We also would like to thank Father Rohan for giving us this chance to have this discussion, as well as to Father Henry. Merci, muchas gracias y obrigado. Now I give the floor to Father Henry Ramirez for the closing remarks.
Primero que todo, Luigi daba gracias a los panelistas. Sabemos que sacar tiempo para leer los documentos que se enviaron para personas que andan muy ocupadas y que tienen una vida cotidiana con muchas responsabilidades, para nosotros eso es muy importante porque sabemos que nosotros de alguna manera les robamos también de su tiempo, y en ese sentido por eso nuestra gratitud por sacar ese tiempo para poder compartir estas reflexiones que para nosotros, pero para mucha gente son importantes. Agradecer también a los intérpretes, a Regan, a Didi, al padre Alex, que, se me escapa uno, Stefan, que nos ayudan a que esto sea posible, la comunicación más allá de nuestras propias lenguas originarias. También a quienes nos han acompañado durante este panel de esta conversación. Es muy, muy importante porque sabemos que podemos seguir contando con ustedes en estas conversaciones. El mundo digital y la comunicación son hoy un desafío muy grande. Ustedes lo han demostrado y lo han manifestado en sus experiencias pastorales cotidianas, y para nosotros estos insumos estas reflexiones que ustedes han hecho son valiosas para el trabajo que hacemos aquí, que muchas veces no se ven los resultados porque van germinando debajo de la tierra, pero la semilla aún debajo de la tierra germina. Y para nosotros es de vital importancia sus aportes y pues efectivamente esperamos poder contar con ustedes en otra oportunidad para seguir enriqueciendo esto. Desde el equipo claretiano en Naciones Unidas les agradecemos profundamente a cada uno de ustedes por este espacio. Muchas gracias.
Thank you and have a good day, or good evening, or good night.
Bye-bye.
Right, and thank you for all
Bye.
of you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Gracias.
Muchas
Thank you, everyone.
gracias.
Bye bye,
God bless you.
comunicators.
Muchas gracias.
Vemos.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you so
Good.
much.
Thank you so much. And we close now.
Gracias.